This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Looks like the dogs are nowhere to be seen. I don't know where they went. The fly scared them away, I guess. Thanks, Zozo and Jessica Schubaugh. Alright everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Got some updates. Those two 14-year-old girls were found. There's with some 30-year-old man, and then he's been arrested and charged with various things, but I'd like to know what the story was on that. See how that goes. Thank you, Eugenie. So that was good. And then also, remember the story where D&K Reck, the paramedic that he worked with for years and considered him like a brother, who was charged with these sex crimes, with minors. I mean, just an absolute, it's crazy. But there was a little update today that he sent me. So I think I'll play that. And plus, I've got my, here, look at this coolness. Here, watch. See, now if I use the middle monitor here, I can go, okay, let's see, does it work? Let me see. Maybe it doesn't work. Let me see, hold on a second. It's weird, it was just working a minute ago. Gonna have to practice on how to get that to work every time. Let me see. Weird. I guess it doesn't work. Let me try it again. If I put this out here. Yeah, it's supposed to do something where let me see what happens if I. Yeah, it was just working like 10 seconds before. That's really crazy. That's where I can draw on the screen. That's so bizarre. Did that middle monitor? Yeah, it's right there. I wonder if it can't have the that NDI thing open at the same time, because that seems it's not working now, just off of one thing.
Hi, Gray and Freaks.
Yeah, so apparently, let me turn off the dog. That's bizarre. I actually had it where I could draw on the screen and it worked easily. And nothing changed. I didn't even change anything and it just stopped working. The only thing I changed was I turned on the camera for the dogs. I wonder if that has, I can't imagine that having an effect on that though. Hey, thanks Melissa B. I'm just gonna try to keep trying to figure this out really quick. Hold on, let me delete that, get rid of that, add it back in there. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. Pop that out. God, it's unreal. Unreal. Let me turn off this NDI thing. If I turn that off, does it work now? I was just frustrated because I was going to use it, so now I got to try to get it to work. No. Man, you guys hate when stuff works and then it just doesn't work for no reason. It's known to mankind. It's wild. Yeah. Well, forget it. I don't worry about it. It was just so bizarre because it was working perfectly. I mean, I even set up all these buttons where you can... It's not the mouse, is it? Let me just... Okay, I'm just going to try this for one more second. If it doesn't work. No idea. No idea. But it was cool. I could actually draw on the screen. But anyways, this is the guy right here. And they had an update.
Todd Burnham is currently being held at the Rockingham County Jail on preventative detention. Police say the former EMT drugged and sexually assaulted at least 3 victims, all under the age of 13. Burnham has been indicted on 27 felonies, including aggravated felonious sexual assault, and possession of child sexual abuse images. The Kensington police chief said investigators found more than 800 of those images during a search of Burnham's home. The county attorney says the discovery of a 4th alleged victim has affected the proceedings in this case.
That has slowed up the process in terms of getting a plea offer out to defense counsel because we now have this 4th victim.
As of Wednesday, prosecutors say they were able to get in touch with all the families and can now move forward.
We are ready now to make a plea offer, Your Honor, but I was not able to do it before today.
The county attorney also told the judge that prosecutors were able to get the information regarding the 4th victim to the defense, even though there haven't been any indictments in that case.
As Attorney Conway indicated, she's been very communicative about the steps of their investigation and trying to give me what she has. But what we have at present hasn't allowed for a meaningful discussion with Mr. Burnham.
With that in mind, the defense asked the judge to schedule another hearing for the end of August. In the studio, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And that was one of the freaks. He's a paramedic and he worked with that guy. And he said, man, he had no idea. This guy was just a total, a person he'd call if he needed anything. He stayed at his house for a while. I mean, man, it just shows you, man, they can just hide right amongst regular people. Absolute barbarians. Crazy. Man, that's really bugging me that I can't get that dang whiteboard thing to work. It was really neat. I was excited. Apparently you could just draw right on the screen. And it worked great. Let me just check one last place. Yeah, so maybe I have it on eraser. Hold on a second. Wouldn't that be weird if I accidentally had it on eraser and there's nothing on there? No. Yeah, that's brutal. Hey, thanks, Stephanie Joy. Hi, Greg. Hey, you did it. Yeah, it takes them forever sometimes, but yeah, sometimes it takes a long time.
My mug arrived today, finally. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you could draw on the screen while it's, you know, like you want to circle something, and apparently it's not working for some reason. So we're gonna have to. I'll figure that out later. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll try to. Yeah, it was really neat. It was easy to like point stuff out if I felt like it. Thank you, Cal. I didn't make her. Let's see. All right, so there's a couple other press conferences today. Well, there was this interesting interview with this guy who says that he saw clearly the shooter at the bottom. You know, he made it from the roof down below, then was shooting people. So you remember there's like a discrepancy. I have it at, we counted exactly like 58 shots yesterday. I mean, it was really precise what we did. So maybe he came down and shot 12 more when he came down to the ground. Because there definitely wasn't time. Does anybody think there was time between the two volleys originally to climb off the roof, go all the way down to the ground? I don't think so at all. That would have taken, 30 seconds. And there was only about 10. I mean, it wasn't a long gap between the shooting. So this is on News Nation here.
We are joined by Michael Schwartz, who was there for this tragic event. Michael, first I have to ask, are you and your family okay?
Yes, we're fine. Thank you.
What did you see?
First of all, I was there with my wife, who's in a wheelchair, and my 2-month-old grandson, who was in a baby buggy, and his grandmother.
Innocent people.
One of the things I didn't tell your reporter when he interviewed me earlier that I thought of last night.
All right, you guys back on now again? Because I clicked on something that you could tell had something to do with that whiteboard thing. It kind of froze up on the screen. But you guys are back on, right? I know you're buffering. You were buffering before, but now everything's normal. Okay, good. Let me play it again.
My wife, who's in a wheelchair, and my 2-month-old grandson, who was in a baby buggy, and his grandmother. And we were all on an elevated spot about 10 feet, about 15 feet from the
all right.
Restaurant, the pancake restaurant on the corner. And we could see directly where the shooter was. However, in the first round of shooting, I looked everywhere and couldn't find where the shooting was coming from. The second round of shooting, I saw the shooter kneeling across the street on the corner of 2nd and Central, shooting at us.
And he's on a rooftop at this particular point?
No, he was on the street.
Isn't that crazy? He was on the street.
Wow.
I called in you actually because I thought the reports were erroneous. However, I guess he was on the roof in the first round of shooting, and he must have climbed down because I saw him quite clearly. I saw his gun. I saw him kneeling in a standard position, the kind of thing you see on TV with people with these rifles firing. And
you saw him strike innocent people.
One of the things I didn't tell your reporter when he interviewed me earlier that I thought of last night, the only people that I saw shot were shot in the back. I think perhaps this is psychologically significant. I don't know that he shot anybody that was looking at him.
People.
Do you recognize him from those pictures that are released by police?
When I saw him, he was crouched about 2 feet off the ground behind a lamppost that had and a stop sign. And I believe he was looking through a scope at me, and he was covered in dark clothing, and I couldn't see anything. I believe I could, I saw him get up and flee down 2nd Street North when I knew we were out of danger then at that point. And I believe I could recognize his gait from anywhere.
What goes through your mind? I mean, you're a daddy, you're a grandpa, you're a husband. I would think that you're in protective Papa Bear mode at this moment. How are you processing what happened as you're watching it unfold?
It was total disbelief. The original pop, 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 I thought, there's no weapon that could possibly sound like that. That has to be a string of firecrackers. And then I saw people falling, and I knew that it was a gun, you know.
And how are you processing those emotions today?
We're fine with it. I'm sorry that we saw what we had to see. In order to get my wife and the baby buggy out of there, we had to go down a ramp that.
Yeah, north on 2nd is what I said from the beginning. I think he came down and went north on 2nd Street.
Because right next to this woman who had been killed, I think it might have been the woman in the picture. She was obviously dead. She was no more than 6 feet from us. My wife had a spatter of blood on her shirt. Oh. And I was pinged by some debris, but it didn't break my skin. But we had to go around her in order to get down quite close, and that was rather traumatic.
Yeah, so I mean, so the interesting part that he says is just about the he saw the shooter come down and shoot more. So because you can only count 58 shots from the roof. Okay, so when he came to the ground again, then he must have shot some more, maybe with another magazine. I don't know. He must have had a second gun then too, though, because he left the one on the roof, right? All right, and so on this channel, every single night we raise funds to help support the channel and the charities throughout the months, every single month, every single night. And if you send in a PayPal of $25, you actually get the notebook, no matter what, and you're into the spin at the end of the show. Okay, so that's one benefit for that. Or if you just send in $5 on Super Chats, or on Super Chats, you get a spin, one chance in the spin, and then if you do on PayPal, you get like 1.5 times, unless it's just 5, then you get 2. You know, so if you send in 5, you get 2 chances on PayPal because YouTube takes such a large chunk, you know. So, all right, thank you, brown-eyed girl. Da da. Huh? Yeah, so what, James? I mean, 15 minutes is like, what, 15 miles? Yeah. Everybody always tries to, you know, insert themselves on how close they are in almost every single case that you come up with, you know. And that's why yesterday, I think it was early today, where, you know, there's crimes all over the place. You know, it's like, yeah, if you were at the parade, I'd be like, whoa, man, that's whack. That's crazy. You know, but let's see. Yeah, well, it wasn't secured, the ladder on the back of the building. All right, I wanted to play this press conference because I think this one came after the one. There was 3 press conferences today. And this one here had some significant stuff in it.
Progress.
You know, it makes you, this guy had red flags up the, I mean, he had red flags all over the place. And all the red flag laws that were ever put out there, for some reason, were ignored in this case. Okay, so what good are red flag laws? And this is the second case this year where there's no way in hell that 2 of these mass shooters ever should have had guns on them. Okay, so let's figure out how to get these red flag laws to work where guns are taken from these people. I mean, it's unreal. They actually went to this guy's house, took away all of his knives, and because he threatened to kill people and he had knives and swords. So they took all those away and they went, okay, they're handling it with the site. Okay. They've got a psychologist out here. Man, he should have been on every freaking list there ever was to buy the AR-15s or assault rifle stuff that he had. You know, but they're not assault rifle. Okay, yeah, everybody always wants to bitch and moan when you call an AR-15 an assault rifle, because then it sort of puts it into, you know, semantic stuff. But everybody knows that you can just keep firing a lot of different shots over and over with them, and so people just call them whatever you want to call them. But I'm just saying, you shouldn't be able to buy a weapon, especially like that, okay, there's just no way that this guy who would, had 2 incidents where the police went to his home prior, and then he ends up being able to buy all these legally? How is that even possible? It's ridiculous.
The Lake County Coroner's Office was notified and responded to the scene. It is with a heavy heart that I bring to you the names of the victims of that tragedy. 64-year-old Catherine Goldstein of Highland Park, 35-year-old Irina McCarthy of Highland Park, 37-year-old Kevin McCarthy of Highland Park, 63-year-old Jacqueline Sundheim of Highland Park, 88-year-old Stephen Strauss of Highland Park, 78-year-old Nicholas Toledo Zaragoza of Morelos, Mexico. We have also been notified that there is a 7th victim that died at a hospital located outside of Lake County. I will now give the microphone to the Mayor of Highland Park, Mayor Nancy Rodering.
I don't like listening.
The Highland Park community, like so many before us, is devastated. It is impossible to imagine the pain of this kind of tragedy until it happens in your backyard. Our focus the last 36 hours has been on the perpetrator of this heinous crime. As we now put the names and faces of those lost yesterday, family.
Just a second, let me put this in there. 15 Lee said, super happy Grace spends so much time with us here on YouTube. Words can't express. Thank you. Well, hey, no problem. I mean, you guys are here too with me. I do spend a lot of hours putting together all the shows for everybody. And you guys, when I guess even now, but when the economy is really good, you guys are really always supporting, making sure that we're able to keep doing what we're doing. And then also, for those of you who aren't aware, this channel since 2020, because of all you guys, the freaks, has donated over $88,000 to charities and a DNA fund that we have 2 solves in it, but one I don't really talk about because it ended up being like it just identified a victim of a cartel killing. Okay, so it's not like I don't really. Yeah, it's great that he got a name back and so forth, but it's not one that I want to talk about that much. But if you go look up Daniel Armentrout on the New York Post, you'll see that the freaks, and it was really cool because the mayor in the town even said, I think he said something that was like, he's an angel unaware, for referring to me, and I was like, oh, come on. But he didn't. I wasn't there. And then she said, yeah, all those freaks or something, and then he said, well, thanks to all those freaks out there, or something. It was awesome. All right, so the only way we can keep doing it is if every single night everybody's helping out. I know it's hard, hard times and stuff like that. But for me to be able to come on and spend 3 or 4 hours, it's got to be like an every single night thing where we just keep on going and going and going and going, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to get to the $100,000 to charity and a DNA fund in a 3-year period. That's kind of like, hopefully we can get way over that because we've already done 24,000 about this year, and we're only about 12 short, but I see a dramatic drop in the support in terms of the like super chats and everything. So it makes me think it might be, we probably should be able to do it, but I don't know, but I'd like to get to there this year, but no matter what, we'll get there at some point. Yeah. All right.
Friends, guests, longtime residents of the Highland Park community, our focus shifts to the victims and those left behind. This crisis has devastated entire families and our community in a single moment, and we know it will take time to heal.
I wish she had a different mayor. She doesn't really inspire anything in me at all. I almost just can't wait for her to get off quit speaking. I don't know what it is. It's just
on behalf of the community.
This guy over here is really good. I mean, basically, they should just keep having this guy talk. You know, he tells you stuff, and he's like a young Grady Judd or somebody who hasn't quite learned that. Hell, I bet this guy right here will be a sheriff at some point.
That mourns alongside us, I offer loved ones of those who passed our condolences. I thank those who have organized prayer vigils to help support the weight of our shared sorrow.
Nicholas.
We've listed those on our website, and while we're hurting, we know that we will continue to come together and support each other as we always do in difficult times. We are Highland Park strong.
What does that mean? Do a simple.
Thank you, Mayor. There were some questions at our last press briefing about prior contacts that law enforcement may have had with Crimo III. We've done some research, gathered some reports, and I'm going to relay some information from 2 prior instances that occurred here in Highland Park. The first was in April of 2019. An individual contacted Highland Park Police Department a week after learning of Mr. Crimo attempting suicide. This was a delayed report, so Highland Park still responded to the residents a week later, spoke with Crimo, spoke with Crimo's parents, and the matter was being handled by mental health professionals at that time. There was no law enforcement action to be taken. It was a mental health issue handled by those professionals. The second occurred in September of 2019. A family member reported that Crimo said he was going to kill everyone, and Crimo had a collection of knives. The police responded.
Hey, thanks, Jen H. See, look at this. This is crazy right here. See this part right here. Thanks, Tina Souser above and Jen H. Very much. Appreciate it. I mean, look at this part right here. How did they not have this guy on a list where he's not able to buy guns?
Thank you for always going above and beyond.
Hey, well, thank you guys for always being here.
This was a delayed report, so Highland Park still responded to the residents a week later, spoke with Crimo, spoke with Crimo's parents, and the matter was being handled by mental health professionals at that time. There was no law enforcement action to be taken. It was a mental health issue handled by those professionals. The second occurred in September of 2019. A family member reported that Crimo said he was going to kill everyone, and Crimo had a collection of knives.
Hello.
The police responded to his residence. The police removed 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from Crimo's home. At that time,
I mean, what the hell are these guys doing? You know? I mean, you did a great job investigating this thing. I'll give him credit for that. Are you kidding me? This guy threatens to kill everybody. You go over there and you take a dagger, a sword, and a bunch of knives from him. Yet he can still go out there and buy some, rifles and shit. God.
There was no probable cause to arrest. There were no complaints that
nothing at all.
were signed by any of the victims.
Right.
The Highland Park Police Department, however, did immediately notify the Illinois State Police of the incident.
Okay.
Shifting gears a little bit, talking about the investigation itself. The community has been absolutely terrific with providing information to law enforcement investigators throughout this. But we're asking the community to, if they're able to dig a little deeper and recall some specific instances from the event, based on video surveillance recovered by our investigators, we're very certain that there was a female witness who saw Crimo drop an object inside of a red blanket behind Ross's at 6.
Isn't that crazy? So they must have surveillance of somebody that saw Crimo put an object inside of a red blanket or underneath a red blanket.
Recall some specific instances from the event based on video surveillance recovered by our investigators. We're very certain that there was a female witness who saw Crimo drop an object inside of a red blanket behind Ross's at 625 Central Avenue immediately following the shooting.
Okay, so just before you keep going there. So this is you know, based on all the reports, obviously Daily Mail has a whole different building somewhere else. They always, you know, they're not accurate. They had a building that had no angle of shooting anybody over here. I mean, it was ridiculous. So anyways, if you go to this building right here, this is where I think well, let me get the 3D version of it. You know, he was probably using this little facade here to shoot from. And then maybe he climbed down right over here. I don't really know 100%, but, you know, if he came down here and shot and he went north, I always thought he went north and had a car to go north until yesterday when they said that he went to his mom's house. And they said that he went to his mom's house right after that. But guess what? His mom lives right there. Okay? So that means when people said he went north, then you know at that point he's got to cut over like this. And I thought maybe he cut over, just in my head, I was thinking maybe up here. And then he walks down and then maybe crosses right through here. And then he works his way down to his mom's house right over here. Does that make sense?
Phone screen
Right
is
here,
cracked
him-
so hard to type Gray should
of
make
his-
a simple recording of his money spiel.
Oh.
I feel bad every time he has to teach the uneducated.
Yeah, well, I always feel shitty even having to mention it because I didn't ever used to have to, you know, but to kind of keep trying to keep on going, doing what we're doing, it's like, you know, and especially I read a lot. You know, we work through cases and stuff. But anyways, so it looks like to me, he came down here, shot some more. Then he went this way and then cut across. This is the store they were talking about where he put something underneath a red blanket. So right in this area here. Now he must have walked through this alley. He probably went back through there and just kept on going. Looks like maybe over, let's see what it looks like from this side. Came out over here, I would imagine. Makes sense. Yeah, so he just went over up that ramp that you saw, came down this one, hopped over. Probably, you know, he might have even kept on going over here just to kind of avoid the entire parade situation. So if I was him, this is what I would have done. Let's just take this line right here. I'd go from right here to here. Well, hey, let's try this. Let me see if I can do this. So we've got this on the screen right here. And now I'm going to switch over to this other monitor. And let's see if it works. Alright. Right here. Is it not going to work now? We almost got it. We almost had it. Let's see. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to my other one. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working again, so I don't know. I wonder if there's like a conflict with this camera. So I'm going to go back to the other screen. Alright, anyway, so if I was him, I'd be right here and I would go like this. I wonder if that was the problem. I was still on this screen here. But anyways, right here, like this. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. Take this thing. Not sure why this everything's doing some weird. I have it right here. There we go. Boom. Come down like this, and then I'd probably cut across over here and then kind of work my way down and then around, and then make it over to the mother's house by going like this, you know, like this. So that's the route that makes sense. After he came down the building. So he comes down, shoots some more, then he goes north, then he drops something underneath the red blanket there. So it makes me wonder if the person picked up what was under the red blanket. That's why they need the person. Because why would you even need the person if they went and recovered the item underneath the red blanket? You know what I mean? So it's almost like the person they see pick it up and walk away with something. So like this, and then maybe cut it down over here, avoiding the parade. You know, I guess but this is about the last place that you can make a nice little move. You might be able to come back over here around like this, but you know, just sneak in behind. Everybody's over here. You're head faked everybody. Everybody's over here checking out the crime scene. So he walks this way, down, makes it over to his mother's house right here. And amazingly, the car that he used is sitting right here in 2018 in the driveway. And you know, when you look at it, you can see that it's dented in the back, right? Doesn't that just look absolutely dented? Like, you can see how it's kind of it doesn't look symmetrical anymore. Can you see that? And then when you go to one of the, let's see, I've got some photographs here. Somewhere. Yeah, it's just unreal. What is this thing? Man, this is crazy. Hold on a second. Oh, there they are. Okay, so these shots right here. So you can actually see the exact same on the vehicle right here. See how it's got the same sort of dented in area, almost exactly. I mean, it's literally identical to that. Look at. So that's the car that he was pulled over in, and it's sitting in his mom's at his mom's house, and that's the car that he went over and borrowed from his mom. He didn't even say what he was doing. He just used the vehicle, and then he drove away with it. All right, go back to this.
We've not been able to identify this witness yet, but we're asking, if you are the witness and you are hearing this, please call 800, call FBI. Investigators really would like to speak to you about this. We're also asking that anyone with any first-hand information about Crimo relevant to this investigation also call 800, call FBI. Please keep in mind, though, we're asking for first-hand information that could be relevant, that could help investigators. We're not asking for third-party information or information heard through the grapevine, only if it's first-hand knowledge that you have. To update the victim count, including those that have perished, there are approximately 45 injured or deceased from this incident. At about 5:30 this evening, the state's attorney's office will be holding a press conference, and we anticipate an announcement of charges at that time. With that, we'll take some questions.
Chief, so going to this September incident, obviously we were going to look at this and say, well, this could have been an opportunity to stop what we saw here. Your view on that, and how are these things supposed to be handled? How do you stop a shooter if someone's calling police saying, hey, we have a problem?
So the question is the response to the September incident. The police responded there. Police can't make an arrest unless there is probable cause to make an arrest or somebody is willing to sign complaints regarding the arrest. Absent of those things, the police don't have power to detain somebody. Now, if there is an issue where there is the necessity to...
Yeah, maybe they can arrest them, but that's when you immediately put them on a red flag, a list where they can't do any, can't get a gun until a psychologist or somebody comes forward and says, yeah, they're fine, don't worry about it. I don't know. It's just, unreal.
Involuntarily commit somebody to the hospital, that's an option, but that wasn't an option at that time.
Oh yeah, we got one of these. That's the same troll. The guy that you're looking right there used to be Shattered Mirrors. He makes fake accounts. That even looks a little bit like him in that picture. He looks a little bit like David Koresh.
That it didn't fall in that category. But nonetheless, Highland Park Police did notify the Illinois State Police of that.
But as a law enforcement professional, you see someone who said, I want to kill someone, then you can purchase several guns, like you said, legally. How do you view that?
The threat was directed at family inside of the home.
Yeah, but you would even buy guns when it made a clear threat to the family.
So in order to purchase a gun legally in Illinois, one has to possess a FOID card. That's a process that is solely managed through the state police, and I'm not able to speak to that process.
You mentioned how much the community has been helpful in this case with videos, with sending information to you guys. So many people I've been talking to are asking, how can this be prevented in the future? Given the amount of social media posts, the sort of disturbing content that he had posted, would you recommend that community members in this community or others flag police to that kind of information? You said you weren't aware of it beforehand. Were you, if you were aware of it, could this have prevented something like this, considering the red flag laws and other laws here in the state?
So the question is essentially social media. If we had known about some of the posts, would we have investigated? Do we encourage the community to report those? And the answer is absolutely. If the public sees something that is concerning online with anybody, they should notify the social media network it's posted on. They should notify local law enforcement.
What good would it have
And that's
done?
when we get involved and we conduct.
He already told you guys he wanted to kill everybody. And a family member was so concerned that they called you to go out there. So who cares what? I mean, what would you have done if you'd seen a Facebook post where, you know, or a rap that he was doing? I mean, basically, almost every rap that's out there is something really violent. You know, there isn't really any raps that don't have a bunch of really bullshit. You know, I don't even know what to tell you. It's just so his rap would have just been, oh, it's just a rap. You know, unless you're gonna go every single other rapper artist and go after them for what they're saying in there. You know, about shooting cops and all this other shit that they put in there. Okay, somehow those stay out there and. They don't get in trouble for it. Yeah, so the only way to do it is when you get something reported. It has to be a thorough investigation where the presumption is that there's something wrong with them. And you take their guns, you put them on a list, then they have to go through a process. I know it sucks because in our, you know, it makes it so that it can be used politically by certain people that start putting a whole bunch of different people, if they don't believe with them in their thought process, you know, puts them on a list that's hard to get off of. You know, so I don't even know where to go. You know, it's a hard thing to do.
Investigation. Law enforcement's going to do everything they possibly can to ensure the community is kept safe. But if we don't know about it, it's hard for us to investigate.
Under the red flag laws in the state, though, would this potentially have been enough for you to confiscate weapons or take some sort of action?
So in the case of September, the knives that Crimo possessed, they were confiscated and they were secured for safekeeping.
In the case of the rifles and considering the social media posts and the videos that we have now.
So at that time, there was no information that he possessed any firearms, any rifles. Would that be enough if he's making threats? It's a case-by-case basis. I don't want to speak broadly to the issue. It depends on the circumstances. There are circumstances where law enforcement does have that authority to obtain a seizure order, but it is situational dependent every single time.
Chris, there's a report that Crimo visited a synagogue here in town during Passover. Do you know anything about that? Can you speak to that?
That's nothing I know about at this time.
Chris, you mentioned that the weapons, the rifles were legally purchased in this general Chicago area, but can you specifically say when they were purchased?
They were purchased after that September incident.
Does anybody know, they said he was sort of a fan of a really hardcore foreign, like, political group or I don't know, something like that. I never could find what they were talking about.
I don't have the exact dates. I believe it was in 2020 and 2021.
Chris, earlier this morning we were discussing whether we had any additional information on motivation. You said not yet. Is there any new information in that regard?
Investigators have been really tirelessly working since Crimo was taken into custody, trying to determine motive. At this point, there is no definitive motive that he had.
Is he talking?
He has been talking to investigators.
Chris, you spoke on the handgun part of things. When was this?
I don't have that information right now.
The object that you said was wrapped behind Ross, what do you know what that was?
It was the rifle, and it was in a red blanket.
Chris, do you have any information that he may have tried to, after the shooting, tried to check himself into a hospital, Lutheran General Hospital? Have you heard any reports of this?
No, we do not have that information.
To follow up on the last September incident, you said that involuntarily committing it was not an option. Can you explain that? What are the options for officers?
Based on that time, based on those circumstances, that was not an option. It did not fall in that category.
What would it require?
Again, it's case by case specific.
Were Irina and Kevin McCarthy
It's Crimo.
husband and wife, brother, sister? What's their relationship?
I'd have to get back to you on that. I don't know.
Hey, you want to guys, even though this, nobody wants to give publicity to this Crimo guy, but I think it shows you the power of Google right here. Because let me show you guys something. I was looking at this earlier. Watch this. Robert Crimo, that's his name, right? And you go enter it, and there's a bunch of stories, but watch this part right here. You hit images, and there's 5. I mean, it's not even 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 1 million. But they've gone in there, and I think they've actually intentionally gone in, and they just keep scrubbing out any reference to him all over Google. Because look at that. That's it. I mean, on Google, when you type, let me find an image of Robert Crimo. There's 4. You think that's reality? There are thousands of these. People have put these pictures all over the place, and they'd make it out there on the web. I don't know. I think that's pretty, it's a little weird. Okay, it's a little weird. And it's a little bit big brothery, That just shows you what they could do to anybody if they wanted to.
Chris, do you have Jennifer, do you know? Handguns that you talked earlier about?
Yeah, go try it on your own. That's all I could find.
The count, your number?
So he had purchased 5 firearms. 5 firearms, and that includes rifles and handguns as well.
So the other 3 legally purchased, and they were handguns?
There were a combination of which, I don't have the exact count, at least 2 rifles, some pistols, and possibly a shotgun. Those were seized at his father's home pursuant to a search warrant yesterday.
What was the size of the knife collection, and did he ever get it back after the incident?
I would have to do a little research on that.
What time period were those 5 weapons purchased?
Approximately a year.
Is there any information about that 7th victim who passed away in age, perhaps?
Not yet, but we are working on obtaining some information.
What county is
Claudia Newbauer just sent me this weird picture right here. Look at this. Like somebody apparently painted this on the side of his house just now. It's pretty crazy. Like a guy holding a gun. I don't know what this is. Oh, those are leaves there, but pretty weird.
Is that victim in?
Cook.
If the charges are being filed, as you said, probably around 5 o'clock, does that mean there'll be an arraignment likely tomorrow morning? Or?
That would be my yes. If charges are filed today, it's very likely he'll appear in bond court tomorrow morning.
Do you know do you have more evidence found, or more explanation of what you found in the car? You said the rifle was found in the blanket. What was found in the booth? Give some more specifics on that.
Evidence technicians are collecting a lot of shell casings, but as far as anything of evidentiary value, that's the extent.
In the car, you said there was rifles, the other rifle?
In the car, there was a rifle.
And anything else?
Was it loaded?
I would have to check and get back to you.
Do you know where he was heading in that car with that second rifle?
He drove around to a number of places. He drove into Wisconsin, then he came back into Illinois. That's when the alert person who recognized the vehicle description from the press briefing called 911 and he
I didn't
stopped.
look in Facebook though, Charisma.
Any federal investigation, any possible federal indictments where
I'm talking about Google.
So the FBI, the ATF, our federal partners, the Department of Justice are very involved in this case. I can't speak for them. All I can say is they are on the ground here working with us in lockstep. And I could take 2 more.
You know where in
Going back
Wisconsin?
to the September incident, you said police notified state police. What was the follow-up from state police at that point? And was there any monitoring, given what had happened, of his social media accounts then? And should there have been?
Do you want to speak to that?
So he made it up into Wisconsin.
Master Sergeant Delilah Garcia. I'm a
Not that
Public
far,
Information
though.
Officer,
Probably-
Deputy Chief.
Oh, you know where he
So
went?
Basically, in September of 2019, ISP did receive information
Jeez.
from Highland Park Police Department, and at that time, the individual named in the report.
I'm just going to make a guess. Guess where he probably went when he went to Wisconsin? Kenosha, right? Wasn't that the other shooting? It was just a... That's where, I can't remember his name, but he shot 2 people and was exonerated. Found not guilty. Rightly so, by the way. All right, so, it makes you think that that's probably where he went, I mean, it's just right there. Interesting.
Did not have a FOID card or anything to revoke or to review. So at that point,
What's the
that
wow
FOID
for?
part
Of course, it's
was our stance.
Of course, it's.
And there was nothing done to say this person shouldn't be able to get. Is there any way that
Of course, it's first-degree murder. Jeez. Wow, 7 counts. Whoa.
That at that time,
well, of course,
basically,
he killed 7 people.
So he didn't have a pending application, so there was nothing to review at that time when we got that notification. We didn't know, and a few months later, something else would happen.
And what would state police have to have done or have to have seen in order to try to involuntarily commit someone based on those facts?
Involuntary commit someone?
Right. So the lead came to you to follow up on. After looking at the facts of that, was that an option that you considered? Well, this person might need to be involuntarily committed.
Well, there was no FOID application at the time.
Correct. But the lead came to you, right? This person
They didn't say anything, LM. You heard what you heard.
Your role was only whether he had a firearm.
Right.
And so the state law, does it allow you to flag someone and say, hey, we're flagging this person, they should be are you allowed to say this person can't get a FOID card?
More questions regarding that procedure from the state police will be forthcoming. So we know there's going to be some questions directed to the state police on procedure, how FOID card applications work, when a notification comes in from local law enforcement. That is much better answered by the state police. It's very hard to
Seems like every job application should pop up with the person's name, and it brings in a police report, any police reports that have been filed on that person in the last 5 years, and you look at it and go, "Ooh, whoa, yeah, no, he he threatened to kill a lot of people. We had to take his knives away. Yeah, he's not going to get a gun. He needs to go see psychologists, get counseling. If they approve it, then he can apply again." All right? I mean, you can't just... I mean, it's so bizarre to me that you've had people go to his house, take weapons from his house, and somehow, after that, he's able to buy more guns. I mean, buy guns now, not just have the knives that he had.
speak to their policies and procedures. One more.
Where in Wisconsin he traveled to, and how did you track? Was it high pass?
I don't want to get into how we know he was in Wisconsin, but we know he traveled to the Madison area before turning around and coming back.
Madison.
Last question.
How far? Where's Madison?
When the knives were taken from him, did they report that he was threatening, and that's the reason why they came to the house to get the knives?
A family member
so he went
reported
way
that he
here.
was being threatening.
He drove
So-
kind of a long ways.
The family member reports the knives being there, but then he's buying guns, and nobody said nothing.
I'm not quite following your question. The police responded. The police responded in September, okay, to this call. They responded. They took the knives out of the home. They filed the paperwork with the Illinois State Police. At that time, there was no function to make an arrest. There was no.
Parents are there watching him buy 5 or 6 or 7 guns.
I don't know if the parents were there. I can't speak to that. All right. Thank you. We'll be back at 5:30.
All right, guys, just as a reminder, we're going to the west side of the scene at this point, Central and Green Bay. So that'll be about 5:30 or so. We'll be down there. All right, we'd like to get the police department back as well here, so if we can have them back. So.
All right, hold on. Let me check something. Somebody just sent this in. Wow, 11 hours? I just want to look at, see what this has on it. I don't know where I'm supposed to look. You should have given me some time, or 49:20, there you go. Let's say that. Yeah, thanks, Tolar. Here, let me just see where we're oriented just now. I wonder if the, I guess maybe this might help verify which building, but it's always been said the same one there. Oh yeah, right here. Is that like this? No. Definitely not that. Oh, there we go. There's the angle. So this is the building where it was said that he shot from right here. See, that's the shot right there. See? Oh, that's interesting. So was he just on the one across the street, which would probably still have the angles? Not sure what that is. Ground zero, that maybe is what that means. I don't know. Huh, that's interesting, because that would make it this building, which, doesn't really change a ton. It's just that you shoot from right here behind, now you got another facade type deal right here. And I guess you'd still have the same angles there. And then that would make sense, something behind the building right here. Maybe that's the fire escape right here. And the blanket was found behind that building, so maybe that makes sense. Huh. We'll have to take a look at that. That's interesting. He shot from Ross then, huh? Okay. So let me move this then. That actually makes sense. So it's just right next to it. I mean, right across the street. Because you can still get the same angles in there. Okay, so he shot from Ross. So there wasn't, when I was thinking maybe there was a ladder up here, you can actually see the ladder in this one. I don't know if there's a street view there. No, there's no street view there, but you can probably see it on more of this footage. Yeah, see, look at all the shell casings. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for sending me that. That definitely finally proves it, because all we were told was that that's where the shots came from. And it's, virtually the same, but just a little bit across the street, on the same side though. And this is ABC 12. Yeah, there, Gearhead was the other place that people thought it was, maybe. Or is that one across the street? Never mind. What are you talking about, Case Cracked? I'm live right now. I'm not on the dark web. Man, have some useful comments. Let's see, what do we got? So maybe that was it right there. Those stairs, maybe that was the fire escape. Yeah, right. Okay, so he probably up there and then went down those same steps, left the item underneath the red blanket. I'm gonna have to store this. Let me just keep this. I don't want to keep watching. It's like, I'm sure the channel doesn't care because it's just this long. All right.
So Crimo's mother has been at the center of some police contact over the last few hours.
His mom seems a little bit unhinged.
Overnight with a police SWAT team, and today we found a business with a mailbox listed to her, that mailbox under a police seal. The suspect's mother is seen here.
Let's look at her.
In a confrontation.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I mean, come on. Your kid just killed 7 people, all right? I'm not saying... See, in this case, she's not acting like somebody that's shocked. She looks like just a total... I don't even know what to tell you.
With police on the 1500 block of McDaniels Avenue in Highland Park.
You almost kind of see where he got some of that from.
SWAT teams standing on that street as she shouts and makes gestures, appearing very angry. Bobby Crimo's mother, Denise Pacina, also has a mailbox and business listed at another address. This address, the UPS store about 3 blocks away from the mass shooting scene. Is that mailbox the subject of a police investigation? The CBS 2 investigators found the entire UPS store has been locked and closed by police order. No one can enter or access their mailboxes. It's the only store with such a sign in this small strip mall. The mailbox we found coming back to his mother is partially blocked by a cardboard box. No word yet on why police have ordered this UPS store closed. We are trying to get an answer from police about that mailbox.
Yeah. And I don't want to play that press conference. Really boring. So I guess that's what he looked like right there. Wearing a, dressed up like a woman, I guess. Maybe he has a wig on too. Looks like maybe that's a wig with this hair coming down here. Highland Park gunman Bobby Crimo dressed up as a woman to carry out yesterday's attack and was able to flee in the crowd because of the disguise. Crimo, 21, has not yet been charged for the massacre. Now he is. This is before that. This must be at the house. Somebody's got a drone out there. Thanks, Titanican. I thought it was broken. I'm just skipping around here. Yeah, I guess apparently you like the number 47. So some people say, oh, see, it's 7-4 though. It's the other, I don't know. Yeah. So maybe you like 74, maybe you like 47. Don't know. God. Just look at this guy right here and just think if you were somebody that could look at these and prove giving somebody a gun. Wasn't it the last guy that you would... I mean, it's just absolute nut job. I mean, the first sign is putting a tattoo right in the middle of your face. Well, Gray, my cousin has one, and he's really... I don't really give a damn, okay? So let's see if they had it right here then. I don't think so, though. Because I remember looking at it. Hold on, let me see. Let's see if Daily Mail got something right. Okay, right here. They have the shooter on top of this building right there. You see what I'm saying? Like, they have the shooter on this building. See, they have it circled, and then where the bodies were right there, right inside of here, so they couldn't be on that building because there's no way to get a shot to those people that were seen on the ground here. This one right here If he was shooting from here, there might be some kind of a angle there. There was actually an officer on this roof too at some point, but it seems like they think that he was on this one over here because there's actually shell casings. Thank you. Yep.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Huh. Well, so if he was on that roof, how can he say he was heading north? So did he come down and then actually go over to here? See, that doesn't make any sense. I guess I'll just leave it the way it was. But did he come off of the building, come over to the street here and start shooting again? Because if he was on this roof over here and he used this ladder, why would you, who could see him moving north after he shot from the ground? That's really confusing there. That doesn't make any sense. That's just, so apparently what they're saying, the witness would be that he was on the roof, went down this ladder over here, came over here, started shooting again, then headed north. Unless he saw him standing maybe right here shooting a few more, and then he ended up going, well then he wouldn't have gone north though, he would have gone this way. Yeah, it's just crazy. Roof, okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's got like 5. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4/5. That looks a little bit like the image that somebody put on his house. Looks like maybe they put this yellow face. That's kind of interesting. Oh, that's the window. Hold on. No, still doesn't work again. Unreal. All the pics went with him wearing the FBI hat. I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of interesting because it looks like that yellow, see that little yellow face? Oh, you can't see it in that picture. Hold on. Yeah, like he's got this yellow face here and then this little Pac-Man. I wonder if that was an imitation of that. And then maybe put the rest of this on there too. One thing that really sucked is this right here. Yeah, these are parents of this kid, and the kid was wandering around, and both the parents were killed in this shooting. So, like, they were there with their baby to go watch the 4th of July, and both of them got murdered. And the baby was, this little kid was walking around, and then eventually it turns out both of his parents were killed. And there's a GoFundMe right now that's over, at least earlier was over like $850,000. So the kid probably won't be worrying about going to school or being taken care of, anything like that. Why do I want to watch? I don't want to watch the Inside Edition. It's their video, you know. You can go watch it yourself. You keep talking about it over and over. What is it? It probably must show the mom on it, right? Yeah.
We begin tonight here in Highland Park, Illinois, and we have breaking news.
I don't know. You know, I don't even want to keep talking about the guy, you know, to be honest with you. I just was thinking to myself, you know, they've already got the guy, and the mom looks really, I'm not a big fan of the mom. You know, the uncle, like, he seemed like he was totally shocked about it. But here's the thing. Are they really all shocked? Because now that we know that they went to the house after he threatened to kill people, they all had heard of it when they took his knives away. So they can't be just absolutely dumbfounded, none of them. So I don't know about that. Is that what that is? I'm sure somebody else put that out there for you. Let's see, an 8-year-old little girl ran over, and that's how she died. She was on a float when bullets started flying, and not sure what happened next. Huh. Was that the 7th victim, or that's just a separate, not counted as a victim? Thanks, Gwendolyn B. Yes, been brutal in here. Yeah, it's 47. Oh, so that was the 7th one was a little girl, huh? Why are you dumbfounded? The uncle gave 2 interviews. People use such strange vocabulary. Wow! 7 murder charges! Right, because there's 7 murders? You know, or, you know, and as a matter of fact, if another one dies, there'll be 8. If another one dies, there'll be 9, there'll be 10, there'll be 11, there'll be 12. Okay, but the other ones, if they don't die, will be attempted murder and assault. And I mean, he's got like a million, you know, he's never going to leave prison. Let's put it that way. Well, maybe in this day and age. I mean, apparently if you're just given the right meds and, you know, we let's give you another shot at it. Okay? You know, like the guy in Canada who chopped off somebody's head and held it up at the front of the bus and got put into a mental facility for 5 years. Now he's back walking the streets. Isn't that fantastic? I'm sure the judge was the first person to let him stay at his house for a month or so, right? Yeah. See, that's what I always say. These judges that let these people out, what should be a requirement when you're letting a violent offender out of prison early, they are required to stay at your house, judge, in one of the rooms for the first month, okay? And if you get through that month and they're just nice and polite and everything like that, go ahead, let them out. All right, but you'll be amazed how many judges immediately start putting more time. I mean, you know, I don't agree with this psychologist here. Yeah, because what they always do is they know that they're not going to be affected by it. So that's why, like in cities like Chicago and New York and all these places where they put back out the violent whack job offenders back out on the streets because they're overcrowded. Everybody, oh, we don't want them to get COVID. Well, how about this? Don't be a criminal to be in a facility where you might get COVID. All right, you are barbarians. Okay, so when you put it back out on the street, the judge doesn't care because he lives in this neighborhood way over here with a locked gate and security guards and all these people, and so you just put these barbarians back on the streets with the just regular citizens, and they go on and kill and steal and murder and, you know, again, over and over and over again. I think it's disgusting, and I think everybody out there should care more about this stupid, woke, bullcrap, what do you call it? Defund the police nonsense. Okay, if there's anybody, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're somebody that believes in defunding the police, get the hell out of here right now. Okay, you're an idiot. All right, you're a dumb person. Okay, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. If you believe, and I don't see, I'm not one of these people that, please subscribe to my channel, please. If you're that stupid, get out of here. Okay, you are a dumb person. We need more cops. Maybe they need to be better trained and have alternative weapons and so forth. But we sure as hell don't need to have less police force. Okay, you're a moron if you believe that. Okay. All right, there's my public service announcement. Yes, I lost one. Hey, look, you know what's cool? I was at 75,037. And I was able to lose that idiot, that one fool that was sitting in there that believed that we should defund the police. Thank you. Now, is there another one? Please. I'm trying hard to get rid of absolute morons. Thank you very much. And thank you up there to Candy Douglas. Oh, see you later. Are you one too, Kimberly, or are you saying goodbye to the person who left? Because I actually had I have another one that I do it on, but this is one that a lot of wackos actually believe too. If you believe that Sandy Hook was a false flag operation with crisis actors, get the hell out of here right now because you're a moron. Those kids were killed by Adam Lanza. It wasn't crisis actors. It was a real event. The parents weren't, in on some weird plot and everything like that. God, it's just, what's amazing is how many people believe crap like that. And you know it because even when you go watch some of these morons that make videos on the Delphi case who sit there and blame the family, like Kelsey and the parents, and go on and on and on and on about the most ridiculous things you've ever seen in your life. And people are going, wow, great video, man. Hey, lost another moron. Thank you. Keep going. Get out of here. If you believe Sandy Hook is fake, get out, please. All right. Lost two of them. We lost one on Sandy Hook and one on defunding the police. Please, for the love of God, leave if you believe those things. Yeah. Yeah, so these people make these videos on the Delphi case and Elle and basically every other case out there that are so ludicrous, but there's this group of people that are willing to believe anything, and they love it. They're the most, just so enthralled by these creators that create this stuff. They're like, oh, I've missed you. Oh, you're the greatest. Keep making videos, man. And they're horrendous, lacking all common sense and factual information. All right? Excellent. Yeah. I really don't care. I swear to God, it's just if anything that I've learned being on YouTube and creating videos and being sort of in the realm is just realizing how many stupid people that are in society. And that's why I don't even think when you say jury of your peers, well, where, man? I mean, go to next time you get called up for jury duty, look around, man. Look around. You're not amongst your peers, all right? There's people out there that believe crazy things. Yes, I lost another one. Thank you. Keep going. God, please. Isn't that amazing? You can actually see. I wish their name would pop up on the screen when they left, too. That'd be awesome. But it's such a great feeling knowing that you're losing another loser who believes the most ridiculous things that are said on any platform. They just believe it. Okay? It's just Wow. You're right up there with the people that think that dinosaurs didn't exist. All right, let's see. By the way, they did find a relative of the T-Rex that's 10 million years before. But that was pretty cool. It just went on auction. All right. Anyways, yes. So we've lost 3 subscribers since I went on the rant. Okay, because here's what the sad thing is. People believe this, what I'm about to tell you. They believe this. They go, Gray, just because they think differently doesn't make them dumb. Gee. And it's like, I never said that because you think differently. It's what you're thinking that makes you dumb. Okay? Defunding the police is an idiotic belief. It means you are in fact stupid. Okay? And if you believe Sandy Hook is fake, you are even dumber than the people that want to defund the police. All right? Yes. Excellent. Have no faith left in humankind. Thanks, the Velvet Army. I'm literally on standby for you. Oh, good luck there. Good luck. Okay, lost another moron. Thank you. You know, I do like to gain subs, but I like to gain subs that like to discuss factual information, go over cases, and try to figure stuff out. You know, if you're not one of those people, you probably won't enjoy my channel, because I'm not going to be one of the ones that come up with the, Gray, do you think it's possible that aliens did it? You know, I was watching a show and this air traffic controller was talking about wah, 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 wah. Yeah. And this is an actual thing that I believe, what I'm about to tell you here. Is, you know that comment that everybody always makes where they say out loud, they say, you have to respect their opinion, Gray. Okay, hey, thanks, Eugenie. You have to respect their opinion, man. And I don't believe that in that at all. Okay, I believe, here's what I do believe in, and I wish this is how everybody was, that you respect everybody's right to have an opinion. Yes, you are able to state your opinion. I will listen to your opinion, but I am in no way required to respect your opinion at all. Okay, because a lot of opinions by people are simply ludicrous and embarrassing. All right, so for me to respect it gives some validity to it, and I'm not going to be doing that. So can we all agree that everybody should respect everybody's right to have an opinion, but we don't have to respect the opinion? So next time you hear somebody say, Gray, you got to respect their opinion, though. Don't look at them and go, no, I don't. No, I don't. Now, the next time you hear that phrase, say, no, I don't. No, I don't. Okay? Because it's not true that you have to respect their opinion. Okay? I mean, these are things that I've said before on here, but they're always, you know, they're worth repeating again. Thanks, Eugenie. Yeah. Now, there's certain people out there when, you know, if they're an expert and they really, you know, they have an opinion, they almost start off with a default of you respecting it, but when you listen to it, you might go, God, I don't respect that opinion at all. I think it's ludicrous. Don't judge me. Oh, you know what's even worse than that, Tim, is let's agree to disagree when you know for certain that they're wrong. Okay? It isn't like, well, you know what, I like peppermint ice cream. No, I like peanut butter chocolate. No, I like mint chocolate chip. No, I like you know, there's no winner there because it's an opinion. It's it's just what you know, what kind of music you might like. It's an opinion. There's no factual information there. But when there is a fact and the other person will not accept the fact and do never say to them or even accept it when they say to you, let's just agree to disagree. You just keep going because you know that you're right. All right, so do not let them have one moment of satisfaction by saying, see, you agreed to disagree? Yeah. Okay, don't give them that moment. Get the hell out of there. Just either do not let them, do not agree to disagree, but you can walk away if you feel like it. I mean, I'd literally just say to him, I don't agree with you. I'm not going to agree to disagree with you, but I'm not going to continue to talk about it. You're wrong. Bye. That's it. Well, that's your opinion that 1 + 1 = 2. Well, no, it actually does. Well, that's not true, Greg, because 1 in my world is a variable that could be anything. Oh, I see. I get it. Every time Gray talks about ice cream, yeah, I just saw this really nice little pint of mint chocolate chip at at one of those, like, it wasn't 7-Eleven. It was, what's the other one that's like 7-Eleven? Plaid Pantry. It looked pretty good. I was getting close to buying it, but I didn't do it. Welcome, Case Crack. Yeah, I like mint chocolate chip too. Yeah, Circle K is kind of like that, but this is a Plaid Pantry. We used to have this one. We used to have a place called Hoot Owl around here. Yeah, it was like 7-Eleven. It had an owl on it, and they just sort of disappeared. Yeah, well, I thought you were just, the Wawa was a laugh, like you're laughing. Yeah, that's right. There's this one called, there is a raspberry, that's the one, Play-Doh. That's the one that I can eat that doesn't mess up my stomach. I mean, it makes my stomach bigger, but it doesn't give me like a bloated stomach. It's like this raspberry chocolate. It's like, I think that's exactly what, right? It's like kind of a raspberry color with little black chips in it, right? Dark chips. Is that the one? I don't know if it's called Grater's Raspberry. I mean, but it's raspberry chocolate chip, whatever the brand it is. It was crazy. Yeah, it was like, it's so good. You know what's really good with that one, Play-Doh, is you take a bunch of Oreo, the small Oreos, you crunch them up and put them on top of that. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Oh God, now I'm just gonna want to go eat it. Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the one I'm eating or not, Play-Doh, but whatever the one I'm getting already, it would be equal because it's, you know, it's really good. All right, let's see. What else we got coming there? I'm so bummed that this thing seems to not work just randomly. Let me try it one more time. Is there an extra one? Open. Okay, there it is. Tools. Script. All right, I think I'm back on now. Yeah. I think I'm back on now. I had to, I don't know, it's weird. It didn't work again, but let me see if I go to, I'm over here, project this one out. Oh, see? Look at that. See, now it's working again. And then I can just hit the X button, it clears it out. Then I can hit the color button and it changes the color up a little bit. Hold on. See? Hit the C and it just kind of randomly changes to different colors. Like that. And then there was E for eraser. You can erase things. And then when you're all done doing what you're doing, you the X button. So I guess that would have worked well with the... But it's strange how it kind of freezes up my program every once in a while. Yes, every little bit helps, Gwendolyn. If 20 people sent in 5, we'd be right at sort of the edge of... Well, we wouldn't be at the old mug level for sure. But
I hope every little bit helps.
all right, so if we were right here, let's see how that would have worked. Let's see. And thanks for sending me that helicopter footage to get the right building. It was the one right across the street. We never really knew that for sure. So let's see, if I had this open like this, and I'm over here, does it work now? If I come on here and I say, okay. Weird. Yeah, it's already stopped working again. Unreal. I don't know what that is. There might be a conflict with this video thing here. You know, having the NDI open. I'm not sure precisely, but thanks Dan Carr, Gwendolyn B. But what do you guys think about those things that I was just telling you about opinions? Well, you know, I respect your... Yeah, so let's say you have a pedophile that comes up to you and starts telling you about what they, you know, their interests, for example. Or you're supposed to go, well, you know, I respect your opinion, but no. Okay. Well, that's different. No, it's not. No, it's not, because people have ludicrous opinions that do not deserve to be respected. And so that's what you always got to keep in mind. What does that got to do with anything? Not joking. I don't get it. Oh, your opinion on ice cream. What? I don't even know what your opinion is. What did you say about ice cream? I'm sure it's you know, do you not like it? Or here's the thing, why don't they make a damn ice cream that you can eat all day, that's got vitamins in it and it's good for you? And you could have all these flavors. I mean, imagine if you could eat peanut butter chocolate. It had all your day's essential vitamins in it. The entire pint was maybe 200 calories. So you could eat 5 pints of ice cream a day. Maybe start off the morning with mint chocolate chip. Maybe have a mid-morning snack with you know, maybe cookie dough. And then at lunchtime have the peanut butter and chocolate or mint chocolate chip, whatever the hell that is. And then in the evenings, when you want to get really zany, have that raspberry chocolate chip one. And I think at that point, we haven't made as a society where we're just eating ice cream, but it's good for you and nutritional. Man, somebody work on that, please. Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing, though? I mean, I think everybody would be a lot happier. Yeah, it does. Oh, man, just make it so it's actually healthy. Somehow there's protein in ice cream. I mean, there is a little bit because of the milk, I guess. But yeah, it's too good. Ice cream, jeez. Everything that tastes good is bad. I know, that sucks. Well, why wouldn't it be? Because you would just, the ice cream would be in there and make it feel better, wouldn't it, Amber? You don't have to chew on it. Oh, you would be happier. Oh, good, yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah. That's the ice cream I want, plus it. Oh, that's right, yeah. It automatically starts moving your arms and legs, and you immediately have a net negative in calories, even if you eat 5 pints of ice cream a day. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome, I gotta admit. Hey, thanks, Lillian. Get you in there. Oops. All right, I did want to talk about this case called, it's like Elle. Well, first of all, before we do that, let's do the update on the 2 girls. Yeah, so remember at the end of the show last night, we were talking about missing 14-year-old, the 2 14-year-old girls, Aysha Cross and Emilee Solomon. They were found safe, man arrested in connection with the case. 2 Texas teen girls who went missing last week near Waco have been found and reunited with their families, according to McLennan County Sheriff's Office. A man identified as 30-year-old James Robert Van Houten had been arrested in connection with the case and will be charged with harboring a minor. So that, but they think there's other charges. I mean, that harboring is, you know. The Sheriff's Office discontinued an Amber Alert that was issued Monday for the 2 girls who were identified as Aysha Cross, Emilee Solomon, both 14. Let me see what they say here.
More than a week ago, is now back with her family following an exhaustive international search. The girl, who Global News has decided not to identify by name, disappeared after leaving her home for school. Tonight in Oregon.
Oh, though, that's that other one from Oregon. Yeah, so they put both of these in there, but that's the one from Oregon. the girl that went missing up in Canada was actually all the way over here in Oregon, so that's different. Let me just read the rest of this.
A 13-year-old Edmonton girl who went missing.
Yeah, that's different. Okay, a man identified as 30-year-old James Robert Van Houten has been arrested in connection with the case, charged with harboring a minor. The Sheriff's Office discontinued an Amber Alert. Then we go on to the next one. Missing McGregor girls treated badly and very happy to be rescued. Ooh. Deputies with McLennan County Sheriff's Office, their Criminal Investigation Division and Human Trafficking Unit, tracked 2 missing McGregor teenagers to Georgetown, where authorities arrested James Robert Van Houten, 30, the man allegedly harboring them. Sheriff Parnell McNamara confirmed to KWTX. This is him right here, this guy. Looks like a real winner. Emilee Solomon, 14, and Aysha Cross, 14, have been missing since June 28th, and police initially said they did not meet Texas Department of Public Safety criteria for Amber Alerts. On Monday, July 4th, however, an Amber Alert was issued for the girls after police were sent a screenshot, allegedly from Cross' Snapchat story, with the message, "Help." Investigators pursued several leads that led them to a home in McGregor and another residence in Belmead, onto Belton in Bell County, back in McGregor, and eventually to Van Houten in Williamson County. The deputies did an unbelievable amount of work on it. That really good work. Let me see if... yeah, I actually have where he lived here. Or lives. So this is where they went missing from, this town right here, McGregor, and he lives right here, and apparently this is where they were found, right here in this house. Weird, huh? Just right there. Investigators pursued several leads and led them to a home in McGregor, then another residence in Belmead, on to Belton in Bell County, back to McGregor, and eventually to Van Houten in Williamson County. The deputies did an unbelievable job. Van Houten will be charged with harboring a minor and more arrests. Oh, wow, so maybe this was a ring of some sort. And more arrests are very likely. The sheriff said Solomon and Cross ran away from home and fell in with some bad people. So they did run away and went from place to the next, and they were kept in some pretty bad places. We have reason to believe they were mistreated very badly, and we are looking into that, and we are going to be filing charges, and there will be other arrests made, McNamara said. The girls, who were very happy to be rescued, according to sheriff, were reunited with family members early Tuesday morning. McNamara said several individuals were involved and investigators know who they are. Oh boy. Jeez. I want to know. Yeah, I mean, I bet you they were sort of lured into running away, and then when they ran away there was multiple people involved, and I'm sure there's going to be unfortunately I think there's going to be like some sort of a sexual angle in some of the charges. When they say treated very badly, I kind of think that that's what they're referring to without really saying it. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. I don't know if he's running a ring or what's going on there. I guess this is him here too. Jesus. Unreal. Okay, now we're going to move on to another case. This is the Elle, Ragin. And I don't know what the order is that they're in here. Let me see.
Well, this morning, Northfield police are asking for your help in finding a missing 6-year-old girl.
The search started after her mother was found dead over the weekend. Our Pauline Lee is live with more details about the investigation. Pauline.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Well, police discovered her mother's body on Saturday, and they say she died of an apparent suicide. They've been searching for 6-year-old Elle Ragin ever since. Law enforcement spent the weekend searching the area with canines, drones, and helicopters.
Yeah, so the girl went missing, then the mother was found dead, but there's some really fishy ping information.
Well, they believe Elle's mother, Lisa Wade,
like the mother probably did something to the girl. I mean, it's almost 100% like what happened.
Have been involved in Elle's disappearance before she took her own life, and Elle could be in danger.
Let me rewind it a little bit.
Neighbors say they believe Elle's mother, Lisa Wade, may have been involved in Elle's disappearance before she took her own life, and Elle could be in danger. Neighbors say they were shocked to hear something like this could happen in their own community.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. See that I'll bring it back here, but I was actually looking for her home, and I found the house where Lisa Wade, the mother, lived, and the father. I guess she had custody, and then her daughter's last name. But when you look at it, you go, wow, there's nothing there, but you do see this road here. And actually, if you turn off the 3D look of it, let's see, does that even work? No, that's not what happened. So you can still have the 3D on because that's really all, that doesn't help because they don't have any updated maps. But if you actually go down to the street view, there is no street view, but for some reason, some genius actually put those 360-degree cameras on the street here. So you go down to here and look at this. So now we see where she lived in like one of these units right here. So it's pretty crazy how like you get this massive change. I mean, if you just look at that, it's just a field, nothing there. But somebody fortunately there's even another one right here, a 360-degree camera they put here, and she lived in one of these. Thanks, LM. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to the notebook level tonight. Who said he was a Trump supporter? I mean, I don't really... Here's the thing. It doesn't really matter. It matters politically to some people, but what... for example, remember when the Congress, all the people in Congress were playing baseball and they were shot by a left-winger? That just disappeared. Nobody really cared anymore. And the guy that almost tried to kill the Supreme Court judge, it just sort of disappears. But whenever it's the other way around, man, that story has legs for months. They just keep hammering it in the media over and over and over again. And the truth is, it doesn't really matter. What it is that they're psycho. They're all nut jobs. It doesn't matter who you're supporting. If you get to the point where you're trying to go kill people, you are a crazy person, and they're all in the same boat of wackiness. All right? And they should be treated the same by all media outlets, no matter what side of the fence somebody was on. Does everybody agree with that? Because I do. All right. And you know I do, because I just said it. Yay!
I feel like a lot of people are confused and frustrated that they didn't hear about this sooner.
Well, good.
That they had to find out through social media what was going on. I think everyone's just worried. Everyone wants to find the little girl, find out what happened.
And rightfully so. One of the biggest questions I think people have is why no Amber Alert? Well, that's because law enforcement say Amber Alerts are issued for abductions. That's when there's evidence of maybe a suspect or maybe a vehicle that might be involved. But authorities don't have any of that right now. But even so, they did issue a missing persons alert for Elle. So if you've seen her, if you know where she might be.
That's so funny. She's got a shadow from her eyelashes that make it look like there's like a fly on her nose or something.
Northfield Police. Shayla?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Be involved. But authorities don't have any of that right now. But even so, they did issue a missing persons alert for Elle. So if you've seen her, if you know where she might be, call Northfield Police. Shayla?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pauline.
Like the city didn't have a plan for.
I mean, that's how good at sleuthing I am, guys. Noticing little things like that. A shadow on an eyelash. Whew, wow. You guys are so lucky. I swear to God. All right, so that's the girl that's missing right now. It says the search for Elle Ragin, a missing 6-year-old girl whose mother died by suicide in Northfield on Saturday, continued Tuesday afternoon. We're still extremely hopeful, but based on the information and evidence that we have at this time, we are concerned that we may not be able to find her. So, I mean, then this is a lie right here. You're not extremely hopeful. You just countered it by using the word but, you know, I think you're gorgeous and everything, but what does that mean? As soon as you use the word but, you're basically completely okay. If I went like this, you look really great in that dress and everything, but what am I saying? What am I about to say after that? Something that completely negates how great. But wouldn't the pink one with the look a little better than that one? Right. Come on, you guys. You know how it works. All right, the lizard eye. Oh yeah. You guys don't know there's a lot of you probably don't know the lizard eye story. All the emojis, by the way, if you're a channel member, actually have meaning. The lizard eye that you see right there in the Blaze Fairchild image, the little emojis there. All right. So basically, that's me. Basically, I'll tell you the story. I went into a bar. There was a waitress that I thought was really pretty. I had no butts after it. I thought she was pretty. And then she came over to the table, sat down. We were talking after shift or whatever. And I was looking at her eyes, and I thought they looked really exotic, you know. So I said to her, you know, being really smooth, I looked at her and I said, you know what? Your eyes, they look like a lizard. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes later. She was already out of there. But come on, how come I didn't get any points for at least trying something? I just thought they looked sort of reptilian, kind of exotic looking. I didn't think it was going to be like this horrible thing. Okay? Yeah, your eyes, they look like a lizard. No, that's positive though. I meant it good. Really? Because whenever I think of a lizard, I don't know. I'm not sure how it came out like that, but as you can tell, I'm not the smoothest person in the world. All right? Yes. Yes, the Velvet Army. Painful. Very painful. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you have cat eyes, sounds more like people know what that means. Lizard is a little different. Your eyes look like a dung beetle. What do you mean? Oh, well, you know, just exotic, you know, because that's an exotic little insect. You don't really see too many of them out there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I'll get back to this. Now, the search for Elle Ragin, I think it's Ragin, R-A-G-I-N, a missing 6-year-old girl whose mother died by suicide in Northfield on Saturday, continued Tuesday afternoon. We are still extremely hopeful, but based on the information and evidence that we have at this time, we are concerned that we may not be able to find her. On Tuesday, Elliot shared new details about the information that led investigators to concentrate their search on the Mississippi River near Rice, Minnesota. Well, here's the thing, is I know, because I looked it up already, from being right here, her car actually pinged way up here at this park right here. And I'm just drawing a line where you get access to a river right there. And amazingly, again, look at this. There's somebody, for some reason, there's street view in the middle of the river here where we can then turn and see this spot right here where it's possible she may have driven down and thrown her child's body into the water. Hey, thanks, Gwendolyn B. Yes, you guys, and please help out the channel if you can. You know, pretend on the bad nights that I'm just a cup of coffee or a Snickers bar. And then we can keep on trucking, you know, because it does. There'd be a point where I couldn't really justify doing 3 and 4 hour shows every single night, because I give away over half of the net revenue that we bring in to charity. And if there was nights where it was like $50, and then after you get taxed, you'd get like 35, and then you give away 17 to charity, and then 3 hours of a show for $17. Yeah, that's just hard to do, you know. It's hard to, because I could be doing going to movies or something, doing something, you know. But I choose to be here because I enjoy doing it, you know. Like you know, I try to do it in a way where we cover cases that nobody else talks about. And I think it's sort of a service, because I actually hear from family members often that actually write and like emails and say, hey, wow, I saw that you covered my daughter's case or my cousin's case. Nobody's talked about that in years. I just wanted to say thank you, and that's it. Yeah. All right, thank you, Gwendolyn B. So this is the park, though, and it's about 100 miles away. And I tried to look at other places she lived to see why she might have been familiar with it. So it's like, you know, if you just measure it in a line, it's 100. So it's probably like 130 driving, just given the fact that it's not a straight line. And let me read it because it goes into the details here on what's going on. It says on Tuesday, Elliott shared new details about the information that led investigators to concentrate their search on the Mississippi River near Rice, Minnesota. The Mississippi River County Park, so that's where I just showed you, where investigators began searching Saturday, remains closed while search teams conduct operations on the water. On Sunday, and as we learned from another case, we had a case where this girl jumped off a bridge and she actually went down stream 80 miles in like 4 days or something. I mean, it was ludicrous. So who knows? I mean, it was a big river too, but it was unbelievable how far her body traveled. So the Mississippi River Park, where investigators began searching Saturday, remains closed while search teams conduct operations on the water. On Sunday, the Northfield Police Department stated it has reason to believe Elle's mother, Lisa Wade, was involved in Elle's disappearance before taking her own life. Police found Wade dead inside her home on Saturday after a family member requested a welfare check. So I wonder how long ago last time anybody heard from her. According to Elliott, Elle was last seen on June 19th. That's the last time that the missing girl was seen. Cell phone data revealed Wade drove to the park in rural Stearns County 2 days later. So listen to that part. So that just shows you. So on the 19th is the last time anybody saw her in the family. Then on the 21st, the mother phone, it's shown that it drove, so cell phone data revealed that Wade, the mother's phone, drove to the park in rural Stearns County 2 days later. So on the 21st, she drove up to the park. And then it said, let's see, that day around 3 p.m., Wade's cell phone turned off and never turned on again. So, wow, that's crazy. So let's see. On the 21st, she turned off her cell phone. And then it never turned on again. And then again on June 23rd, Wade visited the park. Well, then how did you know that if she turned off her phone? That day, deputies interacted with Wade and helped her arrange for her vehicle to be towed. Well, I know what you're saying, Alifair, but it just, you know, it just is what it is. You know, it's like at some point, you know, I don't know. I was just so pumped. I thought we were going to just keep going on this trajectory and just being able to just, you know, I was starting to go like, hey, telling Colleen, yeah, man, we're going to be able to probably fund a whole bunch more because I was, you know, trying to ramp things up, and then it's just gone way backwards, you know, like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. You know, you're on a different side of the fence. The mother and daughter were usually together and had very close relationship. Wade's family members tell law enforcement Wade seemed distraught during the following week. So they saw her. That day, deputies interacted with Wade. Oh, so they saw her there. So it says again on June 23rd, Wade visited the park. Her phone wasn't on, I bet. And it says that day, deputies interacted with Wade and helped her arrange for her vehicle to be towed after she told deputies she lost her phone and car keys while hiking. Huh. So where was, is she missing her car at this point? Man, I hope she didn't like run her car into the water with the girl in it. Wade's family members tell law enforcement Wade seemed distraught. Wait, see. To be towed. Oh, no, she has her car there. She just said she lost her keys. So she wanted to be towed. Wade's family members tell law enforcement Wade seemed distraught during the following week, Elliott said. Additionally, surveillance footage captured Wade at various locations between June 23rd and July 2nd. But Elle is not seen. Oh, so she just killed herself then. But Elle is not seen with her, which law enforcement considers very unusual. So they didn't see her with her daughter on any of the surveillance footage for a 9-day period. Are you guys even still there? There hasn't been another comment in the last 5 minutes. There's no known connection between Wade and the Stearns County area. So she just looked it up on a map, I guess. This is a very difficult investigation for everybody we have on this team, he said. This is a heartbreaking case. Elle is 3'6", 45 pounds, with brown curly hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information is urged to call Northfield Police Department at 507-645-4477. I don't know if this is from the 3rd. Hey, thanks, Amber made it. Yeah. I guess, one of the things that really gets me down, just to be honest, is like I'll do my show and I put a lot of effort to try to get everything so we can go over it. And then you'll see a person doing a show just going over the same crap on Dylan Rounds over and over and over again, or Summer Wells. And they'll have like 700 or 800 people watching, and everybody's super chatting over and over and over and over and over again. And they're not doing anything for anybody. They're not giving a nickel back to charities. They're not helping to solve anything. They're not helping any other case out. They're not helping that case out. They're not doing anything. So it all comes down to everybody just being emotionally helping out those channels, and they're not doing anything. And I don't even know how to, it's hard to process that in my mind. I'm just sitting here and it gets really depressing, and you get these other YouTubers coming up with just total bullshit just to sell views and get subs, and I'm just not into that at all. If you want to be here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. But it's a shitty feeling. That's all I can say. And it's weird too, because it doesn't matter what I say or like try to explain it, it doesn't seem to affect anything in terms of raising to keep help, doing the funds. Because the biggest thing that we do really is that we cover cases that nobody ever talks about, and we send in just a ridiculous amount of money to important charities like NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Texas Equisearch, RAIN, which is Violence Against Women. Those are the three main ones, and we've given them $15,000 to $20,000 a piece over the last 3 years. And I'd like to keep doing that, because that's one of the only ways you can actually make a difference, right? Like it's and so when I'm spending all these hours doing these shows, I'm sort of I have almost like an expectation to be raising funds to be able to keep doing what we're doing. And to see it just sort of go away, dropping down. I know the economy sucks, but to drop that much makes you just kind of go, man, it's a shitty feeling. So, I mean, we had a couple of good days. We had a crappy first day of the month, then 3 decent ones, and then today is back to crappy again. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure what to say to help somebody go, that's okay, great, here's, like, I don't know, I can't I can't force anybody to do anything. Yeah. I mean, for those of you who are out there that don't know, if you look here, like in 2020, we did $22,000 to charity, and that was all because of you guys. And then 2021, 42,500. That was last year. And then we were already up to 23,790 at the 6-month mark, which is way over that, but it was really dipping down at the end of last month, or just last month. So it was, let's see. Hey, thanks, Dana Dane. I'll get you in there. Cash App. And by the way, those are some of Dana Dane's images up there. She did the one that looks like a planet, and I think the one right below it, actually, right? 2 Halloween images. This one here is my favorite, the planet one. Yeah, that one's cool. I like that. Oh, and thank you, TTJO, on PayPal. Thank you. You guys are in there. Yeah, I got 337 watching. That's cool. That's just, you know. If I was covering, the thing that I do realize is this. If I was the one that, like in the Dylan Rounds case, covered it every single night over and over and over again and bought into all the conspiracy stuff and had all the guests on, I would have 5,000 people watching, not 1,000 like they have, because I would be able to sell it like it was really amazing stuff. Okay, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, now if we get onto a case like when we were doing Gabby Petito, I think a couple times we had 700, 800 or something. I mean, we just nailed that thing. We had that thing pinned down, figured out, everything mapped out, and it was awesome. Are you trying to hit that fly? Yeah. Yeah, and I'll cover it, but you won't see the sensationalistic part. I guess the one part that you could say we were a little bit like that was when those other 2 girls were killed in the same town at the same time that that they were in that the very, I can't remember the name of the town. It was in Utah though, right? I mean, it was shit. What was it? Yeah, and they were in at the same time. So Brian Laundrie, they had gone to the place where one of them worked that day, and then both of them end up dead, and then. So I thought maybe there was a connection there. It turns out there wasn't. That was one of the most ridiculous non-connections I've ever seen. Yeah, Moab, that's right. It was almost in my head. I could feel it. I just couldn't say it. You don't need to all keep typing in Moab. We see it. I don't know. I don't even know what we're going to do, Dana Dane. Yeah. So anyway, she drove like over 100 miles to drop off the I think she probably just drove to this park. I mean, if you look at this park, you know, you're going to pull in here and you're going to go to the easiest place. Probably went there at a certain time late and just threw her in the water. I mean, it's crazy, but I think the direction of the flow is this way. I was looking at, there was a dam right here, I think. There it is. Yeah, so the way you can tell on a big river which way it's flowing, you can't tell by the rocks, is you find a dam and then you kind of get down and you can see that over here it's going this direction. So that means the flow of the water is going south in that river there. And so if she threw the baby in the water here, you know, it's hard to say because sometimes rivers, they, you know, the body could have gone around to this bank and got stuck over here. You know, I would say like originally, you know, you put something like that, and then if the body made it out of that, it might get stuck over on this side, and then, you know, it'd be really hard to get through. It depends on the type of year and the brain and stuff like that. But it's so meandering so much that Yeah, these people, they got to sell those. You know, it's eventually this bank here will eat away, and this will just be an island right here, an oxbow they call them, like that right there. That's same thing. I think. I don't know if that's one. Yeah, normally oxbow, like once this gets cut off, the water starts going, like it eats away, and then the water flows this way, and sometimes there's stagnant water over here, but the river ends up flowing like that. Huh? I see. Yeah, 10 minutes later, Moab.
Well, the search continues in Northfield for 6-year-old Elle Ragin after her mother was found dead. Police discovered Lisa Wade's body over the weekend. She died of an apparent suicide.
Her daughter Elle, nowhere to be found right now. Fox 9's Rose Schmidt is live in Northfield. And Rose, you spoke with neighbors today. So what are they saying about the situation?
Well, Kelsey, you can see that the crime scene is no longer up in this neighborhood where Elle was last seen. But the people on this block tell me they are heartbroken that she is missing. And you can see police do still have a presence in this neighborhood with the BCA parked outside the family's home.
Another day comes to a close without answers in the disappearance of Elle Ragin. Crime scene tape remains on the door of the family home where the 6-year-old was last seen 2 weeks ago. A welfare check led police to the Northfield neighborhood Saturday, where officers found her mom, 39-year-old Lisa Wade, dead of an apparent suicide.
So that was really very shocking.
Elle was a regular fixture in Mary Lou Wallaker's front yard, where the little girl watched her dogs through the window.
She was a beautiful little girl, real happy and real friendly. And I'd see her, you know, walking around a little bit and run in the back.
So she found it strange that it's been weeks since she's last seen her little next-door neighbor.
I sure pray that they find her somewhere and that she's okay.
With help from the BCA, Northfield police used canines, drones, and helicopters to search the area for Elle after they discovered Saturday that she was missing. The chief offered an update to the media Sunday.
Police have reason to believe that Wade may have been involved in the disappearance of her 6-year-old daughter before taking her own life.
Police have offered few details, but say they're working to establish a timeline of where Elle and her mom were the last 2 weeks. The 6-year-old just finished first grade at Prairie Creek Community School. The director sent a letter to families Sunday saying in part, "This is exceptionally difficult news to process for us all. I know that all our school community members will share my sadness at this news and deep concern for Elle's well-being." The school also says mental health support services are available for families and staff who need them.
If you have seen Elle or her mom, Lisa Wade, at all over these past 2 weeks, Northfield police want you to give them a call. That number is 507.
Yeah, she probably did something, got angry, and probably an accident that she killed the kid, and then just tried to cover it up, and then probably got filled with guilt and then killed herself. You know, that's what it seems like. It's not always some, you know. I mean, hold on, I gotta look at something really quick in the shooting case. Somebody sent me a picture. I don't know, is that the same place? No, that's not even the right building. Somebody sent me. Yeah, or is it? I don't know. So they sent me this picture right here and said, "Is that the shooter?" And you know, you do see somebody up. I mean, it looks like a person up here. But again, it's so blurry. But see this building? I mean, these windows right there. And then I'm looking at where he would have been up here. That doesn't, those look too much space between them. So I don't think that's even the right building. So, I mean, that would be kind of crazy though, wouldn't it? What does it look different if you're... Yeah, I don't think that's it. So, anyways, I don't know. All she could have had to do was just have her car in the garage, put the baby in there, drive 100 miles, and then she went out there again, right? It's probably, you wonder if she put the body on the ground the first time, and then she went out there a second time, because why would you go out there again if you've already thrown her in the water? I already told you what my thoughts were, Chris, so... Yeah, she hasn't been seen since the 19th, and then on the 21st, the mother drove all the way up to the, that park, and then turned off her phone, and it was off continue. I wonder why she left it on to go to the park and then turned it off, even though she's still walking around for another, like 10, 11 days after that. She didn't have her kid with her anymore. But on the 23rd, she went back out to the same place, but then said she left her keys and her... That's weird, too. It almost makes it seem like the body was in her car when she told them that. I mean, why would she tell them? Why? What's the deal there? Oh, I don't have my phone or my keys. I don't understand that move. What do you guys think of that? Like, what does that even mean? I want to open up that again. Yeah, the day deputies interacted with... Okay. According to Elliot, Elle was last seen on June 19th. Cell phone data reveal Wade drove to the park in rural Stearns County 2 days later. That day around 3 p.m., Wade's cell phone turned off and never turned on again. So it turned off and then it turned on again. Never turned on again. So that was on the 21st. And then on the 23rd, Wade visited the park again. And the reason they know that she visited the park, not because of cell data, is that day the deputies interacted with Wade and helped her arrange for her vehicle to be towed after somehow they were... I don't know why the deputies were even there, but after she told the deputies she'd lost her phone and car keys while hiking. So she couldn't get into her car. It almost makes you feel like she was in the car at that time. So they arranged for her car to get towed, but then... Was her car at home when... I don't know. I'm not sure what the hell is going on. Why would she say that? Can you guys think of a good reason? Wade's family members tell law enforcement Wade seemed distraught during the following week. Additionally, surveillance footage captured Wade at various locations between June 23rd and July 2nd. So she was still alive even like 3 days ago. The mother and daughter were usually together and had very close relationship. So it sounds like something just happened, and she just probably didn't want to face maybe the biological father, and it might not even have been intentional. It could have been something like she drowned in a bathtub, and she just didn't want to face the reality with the husband and made a quick decision to just get rid of her body somewhere. And then felt really guilty about it, drove back out there again on the 23rd, and then just kind of just spiraled out of control. She's like, what did I do? I didn't have, it just, you just kind of see it going absolutely sideways once the death happened. Yeah, I could definitely see that. This doesn't seem like she was some really horrible you know, at least not yet, that she was some crazy neglectful mother, you know. Seems like everybody says that they got along really well. She just moved into a new neighborhood and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I could see a scenario like that, right? Where something happened, but then she was too freaked out to, you know, let the biological father know, and then she kind of panicked, found a place to put her, and then she felt kind of weird about it, and then drove out there again, because at that point she wasn't in the water, she was maybe in the woods. Then she goes there again, and then she maybe at that point just maybe put her in the, I don't know, like put her in the water maybe, then, you know, she's just drives all the way back home, and then just for like a whole week people are starting to, where is she, and she just can't deal with it, and you know, then she kills herself. I don't know. I don't really see a lot of these, you know, the red flag stuff where people say stuff like, oh, she's such a horrible mom, one time I saw her do this, one time I saw her do that. Yeah. There's no known connection between Wade and Stearns County area. So she must have looked it up. Yeah. Yeah. That is a good phrase, the unraveling term up there. I think she was probably just checking on it because she was like it was her daughter. You know, she loved the daughter. Not that she was noticed or not. Yeah, I think she was just kind of... Well, thank you, Sack and Fox Nanny, to Megazoid. No, is that a press conference from today? Okay.
A dozen or so.
I'm gonna download it. Hold on. I gotta give you guys, the audio sucks, it only comes out of one side, so I'm gonna load it into here in a minute. Alright. Might take a second. But you guys, we got to get the super chats up. Even after my speeches, another 35 minutes of zero. If you guys want, you know, I'm just saying. It's going to be, there's a 20-minute press conference coming up right here that I wasn't even planning on, so there we go. Is this it? Okay. Wow. Man, that's just brutal. How horrible the look at the sound file down here. All the audio's down there. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to throw myself in jail to get to the point where we play this thing. Yeah.
as I said, I'll start out with just a brief recap. So this is an update on the investigation of missing 6-year-old Elle Ragin. As of this time, authorities have been unable to locate Elle. We continue to ask for the public's assistance in sharing any information that they have concerning the disappearance of Elle Ragin or her current whereabouts. Officers and agents have followed up on hundreds of leads and case information that have developed in the past 3 days, and this was first reported on July 2nd at about noon. A recap of that original call is that the Northfield Police Department was sent to a residence at 604 Maplebrook Court in Northfield by a call from an extended family member. Police discovered an apparent suicide of the 39-year-old resident that was ID'd as Lisa Wade. We were unable to locate Wade's 6-year-old daughter, Elle Ragin, at that time. Police searched the house and surrounding area with officers, canine teams, drones, and a helicopter. We did not locate Elle or any other evidence outside of the home. The initial investigation revealed that Wade may have been involved in the disappearance of her 6-year-old daughter before taking her own life. Since that time, the investigation has continued and it has revealed the following information. Elle was last seen on Sunday, June 19th. On June 21st at about noon, Lisa Wade drove from her home in Northfield to Mississippi River Park in Stearns County, just outside of Rice, Minnesota. We learned this information obtained through cell phone records that were obtained through a search warrant. At about 3 p.m. on that day, her cell phone shut off in the area of the park and has not turned on since that time. On June 23rd at about 9 a.m., Stearns County deputy had contact with Lisa in the park, and at that time, her vehicle was parked at the park. She told the deputy she lost her phone and car keys while hiking the trails in the park and she needed assistance. She was alone at that time, and the deputy assisted her in arranging for a tow for her vehicle to a local dealership to get a new key. During the week of June 25th, Lisa had contact with family members and seemed distraught. When officers learned of the Mississippi Park location...
Does anybody think that she actually did lose her keys and her... I just don't believe that at all. So that means she had the keys and everything were in her pocket while they were towing it, but why would you say that? Make it seem like you didn't want to be there? I mean, was the car in the park? Because... yeah, I came here to go hiking, and I just... why not just... I don't really understand that whole thing. Why not just get in your car and drive back home? You know, like... I just don't understand that whole situation there.
Location teams of canines, drones, dive teams, underwater search drones, along with public safety search teams searched the park and the Mississippi River. The search revealed evidence related to this case, including the discovery of Elle's cell phone on land and Lisa's cell phone and purse containing her driver's license and vehicle key fob in the river.
Oh, so she tossed him in the river.
The search of the park and the river is ongoing, and the park and this portion of the river is closed to the public at this time by order of the Stearns County Sheriff. Investigators have been able to locate...
I wonder if she had this sort of fleeting thought about, like, I'm going to make it seem like I'm dead and go take off somewhere, you know? Turned off her phone, throws her purse and everything in the water because her baby's in the water, and just wanted to make it look like she died too, or I don't know. And then she killed herself at home, so I don't really know. Really strange. I think her mind was just all over the place because it doesn't really make sense.
Video of Lisa between June 23rd and July 2nd at various locations, but Elle was not seen with her at any of those times.
She didn't lose anything.
An autopsy was performed on Lisa Wade, and we are awaiting lab results for the final autopsy report. The BCA Crime Lab has completed processing of the home, and lab analysis is pending on any items of evidence that we've recovered, as well as additional analysis of her vehicle. Lab analysis of the items that were recovered in the park is also pending. This is an open and active investigation. We will have updates and new information as it's discovered, and we'll be sure to update you folks. We are continuing to get a very high level of support from the Rice and Stearns County Sheriff's Department, the Minnesota BCA, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Minneapolis Field Office. And with that, I will take a few questions.
No question?
you have reason to believe at this point that Elle's body may still be then in the park or in the river?
Yeah, with the information I provided, obviously we don't know that for sure, but we think it's a pretty good guess, and that's where we've concentrated our search efforts at this time.
When the family member said she was distraught, did they elaborate? Was there anything you could share about how she was distraught, or what about?
Yeah, there's nothing I can share at this time about that.
I guess in that same vein, is there anything you can share about the relationship between mother and daughter, and if those family members said anything that would have led to what this outcome could possibly be?
Yeah, what has been described to us is that Elle and her mother had a very close relationship, that it was very uncommon to have one seen without the other. Outside of work or school, where they would be separated, it was just very, very uncommon to see one without the other.
When we talked to you on Sunday,
Didn't sound like it, though.
Holding out hope that you would find her alive. In the last 24 hours, has that changed?
We are still extremely hopeful, but based on the information and the evidence we have at this time, we are concerned
that article must have been
we may
from
not be
this.
able to find her.
When the deputy encountered her in the park, was she
There's no way she's alive. That mom wouldn't have killed herself.
She was outside of her car. A park maintenance employee actually encountered her first and contacted the deputy. So she was outside of her car. She was conversational with the deputy at that time as far as needing assistance with being locked out of her car. That's something that I would say would not be all that uncommon for law enforcement,
That's
especially
such a
when you start
bizarre
talking
situation.
rural around county or state parks, that occasionally people lose their keys, that type of thing. So I would say that the encounter seemed appropriate at that time.
You said her keys and her phone were found in the river or in the park?
They were found in the river.
How close were they to Elle's phone in the river?
They were not in the immediate location, same location, but they were within the park.
Was Elle's phone in the river too, or in the park?
Elle's phone was found on land, and it was not an active cell phone.
Are you
What does that
aware
mean?
of anything that would have changed in Lisa's life recently that would have created an atmosphere for anything that could have happened? I mean, obviously, something that led to suicide.
I would say that that's obviously a focal point for our investigation, and that we are continuing to look into that.
Well, the suicide is because her daughter's
What
missing
areas did you have
and
around
dead.
the
Yeah. Well, not missing. She's
when the child wasn't present?
That's not something we'll discuss at this time.
Have you been able to find any other witnesses who were in the park that saw them there that day?
We have not talked to any witnesses that would have seen her in the park. Certainly, we would encourage folks, if they have had contact with her or had contact with her at the park, to let us know that.
if like her husband went and stole the kid, she'd be fighting to get the kid back.
Think that there would have been some people there that day at the same time?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Stearns County parks, so hard for me to say. It is fairly rural. It's outside of Rice, which is a small town, north of Sartell, St. Cloud area, but fairly rural.
Did she have any other connections to that area that would bring her there?
Not that we're aware of at this time.
What's next?
Well, we're going to continue a very diligent investigation, especially around that park area. I think some of your news helicopters have been up there today, and certainly we've had search teams out there, and we'll continue to do that. At this point, we've spent well over a day and a half now searching the river in that area. But we'll continue to look there as well as follow up on any other leads and tips. I know we've gotten tips that continue to come in, and we're continuing to follow up on those. Pardon me? I do have kids. This is difficult. This is a very difficult investigation for everybody we have on this team, whether they have kids, their nieces, nephews. This is a heartbreaking case. 6-year-old being missing, I can't think of one that is much more difficult to investigate than this.
The park is the focal point of your investigation.
What do you mean it's simple to tell? Her child, something happened to her child. She killed herself.
We don't have any
guilt.
other
It's like 100%.
solid leads at this point that put a geographic location in Northfield. Like I said, that initial search revolved around the home, and it did not reveal any information that was useful outside of the home.
Chief, do you think the two were there alone, or do you think there's somebody else maybe with them? Are you looking for anyone else?
That would be speculation, but at this time, I don't believe we have any information that would lead us to believe that there is somebody else involved with Elle's disappearance.
I don't think the husband has anything to do with it. Unless he made it look like a suicide. You know.
That will depend on the search teams that are there. We have some very experienced search teams up there, and once they get to the point that they feel that...
So, look, I think you can just eliminate the husband from it. And the reason is because you have her on camera for 11 days without her child that she's never seen without it. Had he come and taken the child, she would have reported it to police, and they would have went and, she would have fought to get this child that she loves so much. Okay? The only thing that makes sense in this story is that something tragic happened, whether it was a SWAT or, something wasn't intentional to kill her, but she died, and then she got, disposed of the body at that park, maybe went back another time to check it, maybe make it more drastic, throw the body in the river, and then maybe she almost did something, and then decided against it, and then said, I lost my keys, because she threw her purse and everything in the water because she was going to dive in too and drown, but then she just couldn't do it, and then she's wandering around, and they tow her car, and then she's in town just not sure what to do, and then one day she just kills herself. That's what it seems like to me. We could try to come up with some other stuff that I guess is technically, quote, possible. Yeah, it is simple, TTJ. You try to make things not to make it more interesting, but to me it's really simple.
That their physical search and the technology that they use to assist them has satisfactorily cleared that area, they'll be clear from that.
What kinds of searches do you think?
At this time in the park, it is focused on river search.
That sort of thing?
Yes. And I haven't ever been part of a underwater search team.
Yeah, I looked to see where her property is. I tried to see where she lived before, and she never lived anywhere near that lake. They said that there was no connection. And then I checked the father's addresses, and he never lived anywhere near there. So I didn't see anything. I checked for that very same connection. But to me, it just seems really kind of clear. Now, it's always possible it's something else. But to me, it seems really obvious.
As I understand, they have some pretty advanced technology as far as side sonar location for underwater, and they are making the most of using those
and we'll
resources.
never get to know that, TTJ. So why? Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. Everyone said that she loved her, and they were always seen together.
I hate to leave any out, but some that I'm aware of, obviously the Stearns and Benton County dive team has been up there. Minnesota Search and Rescue, which has both bloodhounds, cadaver dogs that search both land and water. They've been very involved with this. They have some sonar. Okay. Thank you, folks. If I missed you when you came in, if you put your press conference or press contact info on that sheet, I'll make sure you get a press release of this update, as well as any future updates. Thanks for coming, and thanks for getting the word out.
Yeah, we don't know what caused the accident, and we'll never get to know what caused the accident. Even if they find her, unless it's some obvious thing, like they find the little girl and she's got strangulation marks, maybe, then it would change things. But, we're not going to get to know. So to me, it seems like she really loved her, and they were always together, it sounded like. So what happened that day, we don't know. But it seems pretty obvious that she did something that ended up in the death of the kid, of Elle, and that's it. And she panicked, and eventually the guilt got a hold of her, and she just killed herself. And, when the guilt part might be that she feels responsible for what she did, and it could have been something like, I guess, I don't know, you can't really call it a spank, but hit her in some way where it ended up killing her. Or it could be something like a hot car death where you feel responsible, and, that's what happened in another case just recently. A guy killed himself. Couldn't deal with the pain, knowing that, when he'd have to tell his wife that he left his kid in the car, so he killed himself. Or was it a her? I can't remember exactly now what it was. But anyways, thank you to Lillian, TTJO, Paulette Leonard, and let's see, also to Zozo early on, Jessica Schubach, Eugenie, Melissa B, Tina Susser, Stephanie Joy, Kathy Friedmaker, Brown Eyed Girl 714, 15 Lee, Jen H, 15 Lee again, Titanican, yep, Gwendolyn B, Candy Douglas, The Velvet Army, Eugenie, Gwendolyn B, Dan Carr, Freebird Forever, LM, Gwendolyn B, Amber Maiden. And thank you for Sack and Fox Nanny for becoming a channel member. Also, Case Cracked. And I think there was another one there. But anyways, thank you guys very much. We're not going to be able to do a spin for anything tonight, so I'll save all these names for tomorrow. And hopefully we can get to even a notebook, adding those together tomorrow. Alright, so thank you guys for being here tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gragel's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking checked ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you later.